Now, as Mark had mentioned, there will be a Q&A in a few minutes, but before we do so, let's have some more prizes. Now, the GTX card 770 that you saw in that video from Nvidia is designated for a very special winner of a previous writing contest that had occurred on our forums. You should back us and join the forums. Very exciting stuff there. We do, however, have another one, and this one is for Facebook. So go to Facebook, and you're going to go under Camelot Unchained, so get ready. On Facebook, at Camelot Unchained, Max, our lorekeeper, will make a post. Everyone who comments on this post will get a chance to win. A die, one of these, will be rolled, and the winner is the number down the list that corresponds to the number of the die, and they will win that GeForce GTX 770 card. So ready? And Max has probably already posted it. Go check it out. Now, you can share that with your friends as well. So let's go to the Q&A section, or Mark and Andrew will pick the questions for the Q&A themselves.
Okay, so, hopefully you guys liked that announcement and that pretty cool interview. I think that, as we said, look, during it, it's a really big one for us. I mean, this is not just, oh, gee, we're going to incorporate some stuff, from Nvidia. This is Nvidia working with us, with Andrew, us working with them as well, to make the game better. And, Andrew is going to take questions about, what that means to us as of now. And frankly, what it will mean going forward. Oh, wow, they flopped. Our names are on the wrong person. Okay, we're going to move around. There you go. I wish all technical problems could be solved so quickly.
There was the time when everyone was complaining about the camera focus and I cleaned the lids.
Yeah, that was a good one. So, look, now it's up to you guys. We're going to be taking questions, and, please keep them to Nvidia and engineering type of questions.
I like Mystic Cat's idea. We should try and roleplay each other one day just to completely mess with the office. Like, don't announce that we're doing it. Just, come in and, yeah.
That'd be fun. I like that. We can do that one day. So it's up to you guys. We're sitting here looking at, waiting for questions. If we don't get any, we'll just go back to work.
Okay. You're going so fast. Will physics be entirely optional? Some of it be hard-coded into the game. It will be hard-coded into the game. That is how we are handling our collisions. That said, the part that is going to be running on your client is actually not the GPU side. It is 100% the CPU side of things that we are doing there. So, well, the non-optional part is going to run on the CPU, whether you have an Nvidia card or an AMD card or Intel integrated, whatever. So it's not going to make any difference, but it's also not optional because you need to collide with the ground. Next question, could we possibly partner with AMD as well? I certainly would not rule that out. Guys, give us a call, please. Send us some cards. The thing with Nvidia was that it was just one of those magic relationships where, our main advocate at Nvidia was like my developer contact when I was doing Mac ports out of a strip mall in Covina, California, and it's just one of those relationships that goes back a long, long time.
So let me jump in before Andrew answers another question about AMD. Guys, you've got to understand two things. First, the server-side physics we're talking about, which is how we're integrating now with PhysX and what we're doing on the back end, is irregardless of what card you have. It does not matter at all.
Right. The big scalability is happening on the server. It is happening on our hardware. It doesn't matter what you have. It matters what we have.
And this is, unlike most MMOs, which do a lot of the physics on the client side, we are doing everything that we've been doing right now has been geared to getting it working on the server side. Second, and I cannot stress this enough as I tried to during the interview, There is no, oh, hey, we want to screw AMD or anyone else. Nvidia has been really open with us on that and very honest. It's like, look, it has nothing whatever to do with AMD. It has nothing to do with Intel. It doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. It's just what we can do, one on the server side for physics, what we can do to help improve their code, what can they do to help improve our code. That's all we care about. We want to make this game better, for all of you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna try and run through some of these questions really quickly. Do we plan on things like the trebuchet or catapult shots to bounce around and use physics? Yes, absolutely. That's a big part of what I believe in, is having a certain amount of emergent behavior in your gameplay where it's definitely not random. Random numbers suck. No one wants to lose because an invisible die rolled a 9, but it allows dynamic, unpredictable things to happen.
Hang on one second. And guys, please, no questions about game mechanics. We're getting a ton of questions here that have nothing to do with Nvidia or even graphic performance. So please, guys, we're not going to answer anything unless it has to do with this topic. There'll be other Q&As, both on everything from magic to crafting. We may have some open Q&As. But for this presentation, for all the presentations, the questions have to relate directly to the presentation.
Okay, so will the client predict and display physics before the server sends that data? Yes. We don't simulate all the physics of the entire world on your client because you're just not running the same server hardware we are. But a range of a few hundred meters immediately around you will be fully physically simulated. Let's see. The game be supporting Nvidia 3D vision? I definitely believe so. That's not an ironclad commitment. SLI is an absolute iron commitment. We are doing that. They have sent us more than enough Nvidia cards that it'll. We have SLI. Yeah. Will there be any advantage in running SLI? SLI basically lets you scale up to more pixels on your screen. So, if you're running low res, SLI might not help you very much. If you're running at a high resolution or with lots of anti-aliasing turns on, SLI will help a lot. Let's see. With physics on the server, does that mean you can actually do stuff like falling bricks from a keep wall? Yes. We're not going to do every single brick, mostly because of network bandwidth reasons, but in general, yes. Stream compatible by Shield? Yes. How big are these servers? That's, yeah, not touching that one. It will be a different answer a year from now than it is today. That's all I can say. Yeah, worth dual carding? It really depends on what your resolution is. That's the biggest place you gain. Let's see. What generation of past graphics cards would be enough to run the game smoothly? That's another really hard question. A high-end card like a 580 is probably going to outperform an old high-end card like a 580 versus a new low-end card like a 720. That's it can't really compare generations. Unfortunately, it's not easy. Let's see. What is the typical amount of players you'll be aiming to have on the screen at the same time? Go check out our videos. Even going back to the Kickstarter, we've always been pushing that really hard. And I'm not afraid to make trade-offs that make the game ugly to get that number higher, because gameplay comes ahead of graphics, really. What about 1440 hertz compatibility? Yes, that is there. We've got people in IT already running at that frequency. Not going to give specific video card recommendations this early, guys, unfortunately. Will the client or server scale down the physics based on how much is going on in the area? The client will. The server is pretty much built to handle it. Where you'll see scaling down is in the network bandwidth that we use. What generation of Nvidia card can render my beard? They haven't built it yet. That's going to take a few rooms full. Let's see. Nvidia's help for an OpenGL port, that's not really what we do, but there are some conversations with other people going on. There's nothing to announce yet. What I've always said is we're a small team. We are leading on making the best PC game we can, and anything else we can add on is going to be great, but we're focused on making a PC game right now with the resources we have. What about multi-monitor support? I have 3 monitors at home. I have 3 monitors here. Yes. It's the future you're looking at from Nvidia that has me most excited from what Nvidia has on the table. Okay, and obviously physics has the biggest impact on the game, and they have done so much for us there already. And in terms of what I'm looking forward to adding, probably the HBAO horizon-based anti-aliasing it has the biggest impact of just check this box and things get more awesome. We have dynamic lighting. Yes, absolutely. Long term, well, I'm not gonna get into that. Will native video capturing be included? I can say absolutely on Nvidia. Going to ATI, I'm less sure about that, but we definitely will support their stream capturing. Anything on the code level you can share about how you're solving the graphics engine challenges of an MMO? The engine at its core is basically it's a little machine for batching and atlasing and merging things together. So where some engines might go and draw 10 characters, really as far as what the graphics card sees is we're drawing one character that has 10 parts that are split up around the world, and that's kind of that's the core of it.
Let me jump in on this. So there's a good question from Brihan right now. Will you be able to patch behind the scenes and keep client up for most patches, less downtime? Gosh, if we only had something to talk about.
But there's a fun video on that coming up. Yes, G-Sync will work too. How many people who can access alpha? The number of people who bought an alpha tier with alpha access, I think, is around 8,000. We're going to roll things out in a staged way, I think. Mark will have more announcements on that. Programmer nerd question, tabs or spaces? Spaces, 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 spaces. Because no matter what tab setting you have in your editor, sooner or later, your code is going to get shown in something else that has a different tab setting. And so the only way to make it consistent is spaces. Damn it. Everyone should use 4 tabs, or 4 space tabs, but they don't. Let's see. Long question that basically is percentage of CPU or GPU. We are very aggressively multi-threaded, so we will take advantage of more cores. That's not a worry. That's really, we've been focused on that from the start.
Yeah, being aggressive, multi-threading is an understatement, by the way.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Let's see. Editor of choice, Visual Studio from my cold, dead fingers. Isn't server-side physics going to lead to unresponsiveness and other problems? We're doing a good job. The people in IT have seen things working well. Yeah, it could if you did it wrong. Full collision detection. There are no technical obstacles to it. Who exactly you collide with is a gameplay problem. And that's the only answer I'm going to give on that. But technically, we're definitely colliding with enemies. And there's nothing in particular about someone